Good morning, girls. Good morning, all of you. Okay. So, do you remember the last week class? Okay. So, we were studying about introduction to Java. So, who invented introduction and the history of Java. So, who invented Java? Who developed Java? James Gosling. Okay. So, all that we have seen in the last class, history of Java we saw, and we are in the second module. Now, we are going to continue with the second module. Okay. So, what is Java? If you are asked for a definition, you can write this. So, Java is a programming language and a platform. Okay. So, Java is a high level, robust, object oriented and secure programming language. Java was developed by Sun Microsystem in the year 1995 by James Gosling. He is known as the father of Java. Before Java, its name was Oak. Since Oak was already registered company, so James Gosling and his team changed the Oak name to Java. If you are asked for a definition, you can write only this. Okay, it is not only a programming language; it is a platform. Platform means which supports to develop other software too. So, like Windows is a platform of DOS operating system. Likewise, Java is not only a programming language; it is also a platform. Okay. So, next we are going to see the application of Java. According to Sun Microsystem, 3 billion devices run Java. So, how many devices are run using Java? That means many devices are run using Java code. There are many devices where Java is currently used. Some of them as follows. Desktop applications. So, desktop application la some examples for desktop applications are Acrobat Reader, Media Player and Antivirus. Okay. So, Acrobat Reader, you know, the PDF reader, Media Player. So, there are many media players, you know, antiviruses. Media players, we will see Windows Media Player. All these are different types of media players. Okay. So, second application is web applications such as irctc.co.in, javapoint.com. Okay. So, all these are different websites. So, these websites also can be developed using Java. Next, third one is enterprise applications such as banking applications. So, different applications. So, they have given the example of banking applications. Likewise, we can develop different applications using Java. So, those applications are called enterprise applications. Fourth application is mobile. Okay, so in mobile, many applications on the mobile will be written using Java coding. Embedded system, smart card, robotics and games, etc. These are the some of the applications of Java programming. About that we will see in detail. So, types of Java applications. There are mainly 4 types of applications that can be created using Java programming. Okay. First one is standalone applications. So, standalone application is also called desktop applications or window based applications. These are traditional software that need to install on every machine. So, to use this softwares, we need to install them first. Okay, if you want to use a PDF reader or an antivirus or a media player, first you have to install those software in your system, then only you can use it. So, examples of standalone applications, media player, antivirus and AWT and Swing are used in Java for creating standalone applications. So, in Java you have different types of packages. So, Java, when you say Java, it is a core Java, basic Java, and it has many other packages and each package will perform different operation, it is developed for different applications. Okay. So, standalone means where it is installed, only in that machine it will do the prescribed actions. Second application is web applications. An application that runs on the server side and creates dynamic pages called web applications. So, the pages are in the server side. So, when you are going to the internet, there are many pages available in the internet. You download and see all those pages. So, the pages are in the server side and you are the client that requests the pages and you go through the pages. Okay. So, those server type applications can be developed using Java and it has many packages in Java that is used for web page creations, that is Servlet, JSP, Java, Server Programming, Struts, Spring, Hypernet, JSF, etc. Technologies are used for creating web applications in Java. Okay, so the third application is enterprise applications and applications that is distributed in nature such as banking applications is called enterprise applications. It has advantages of high level security, load balancing and clustering. Okay, so any applications are distributed in nature means so that applications can be divided and given to 2-3 processor that can perform the operations. So because of that it is called distributed. Okay, and it has an advantage of high level security, load balancing and clustering. Clustering means combining together the data and the program. In Java, EJB is used for creating enterprise application. Enterprise Java Bean. EJB means Enterprise Java Bean. The last application is mobile applications. An application which is created for mobile devices is called mobile applications. Currently, Android, Java, ME micro edition are used for creating mobile applications. So, these are the four main applications of Java. Okay. So, is it easy to understand? Okay. So, when you go through, it will be easy to understand. The next one is there are different types of Java platforms, that is editions. So, editions only we are telling us Java platform, and I told you there are different types of Java packages or the Java editions that is used for different purpose. So, it is divided into 4. So, there are 4 platforms or editions of Java. First one is Java SE, that is standard edition. So, what we learn in colleges and educational institutions, it is called Java Standard Edition. It is Java programming platform. It includes Java programming API, active programmer interface such as java.lang, java.io, java.net, java.util, java.sql, java.math. So, these are different packages. Each package has set of classes. Okay. So, each package has set of classes. So, java.lang, okay, first package java.lang will have all the input output classes. So, when you write a program, you need input output statements, and each statement in a Java program is a class. Okay, so that will be stored previously in java.lang. So, you have to call those statements and write. So, when the compiler goes through the statement, it will call that particular class from java.lang package. Okay. So, in a like C, we will write printf scanf, no. So, likewise here we will be using different input and output statements, system.out.println. So, this is a output statement for Java. So, likewise there are many other packages, java.net, java.io, java.util. So, different types of packages are available. It includes core topics like whoops, string, exception, inner classes, multi-threading, IO stream, networking, AWT, swing, reflections, collections. So, all these can be done using the above package that I told you, java.lang, java.io, java.net I told no. In all these packages can be done string operations, exception handling, inner classes, class within a class, multi-threading, multi-threading means more than one process can be run at a time, IO stream. So, there are many concepts that can be utilized using the above packages. And the next edition is Java EE, that is Java Enterprise Edition. It is an enterprise platform which is mainly used to develop web and enterprise applications. Okay, you can either develop web applications and enterprise applications. It is built on the top of the Java SE platform. So, standard platform, in standard platform it is developed at the top of the standard platform. It includes topics like servlet, JSP, web services, EJB, JPA. Okay. So, servlet, JSP means Java server programming, web services, EJB means enterprise Java Bean, JPA means Java programming applications. Okay. So, these are the different Java packages, editions. Next one is, third one is Java ME, that is Java micro editions. It is a micro platform which is mainly used to develop mobile applications. Okay. So, all the mobile applications are used to which edition? Java ME, that is Java micro editions. Okay. Next one is Java FX. It is used to develop rich internet applications. It uses lightweight user interface API. Okay. FX means you would have seen or heard in all the videos. After the video creating, then the effects, VFX effect, it will give no. So all the media files like video, audio, video effects, audio effects can be done through this editions. Okay. So there are 4 editions that are available in Java. Java SE, that is Java Standard Edition, Java EE, that is Java Enterprise Edition, Java ME, that is Java Micro Edition, and Java FX. Okay. So the next one is, why is Java so popular? So we see in most of the codings are in mobile or a system or any web applications, all the codings are written using Java. Why Java is so popular? Java has become a popular and useful programming language because of its excellent features, which plays a very important role in contributing to the popularity of these languages. Okay. So it has some excellent features. So we should know what are the excellent features of the Java. And these excellent features of a Java is called Java buzzword. So you can either ask the questions to write about the Java buzzwords or write the features of Java. Okay. So write the explain the buzzwords of Java and the features of Java are the same meaning. Okay. So Sun Microsystem officially describes Java with the following list of features. Okay. So the different features of Java are simple and familiar, compiled and interpreted, platform independent, portable, architectural neutral, object oriented, robust, secure, distributed, multi-threaded and interactive, high performance, dynamic and extensible. Okay, as I told you, OOPS concepts are very, very important. You will get in all the question papers. Likewise, features of Java also very, very important. Okay, so either they may ask in 10 mark or 5 marks. Features of Java programming languages. Here are the advanced features of Java programming in detail. First one is simple and familiar. Java is simple because Java is developed from C and C++. So the coding is, whatever we have written in C and C++, we will follow the same syntax and format. Okay. So it is easy. Only is few statements will be changed. Okay. So the coding is very clean and easy to understand. It removes complexity because it doesn't use its complex and difficult features of other languages like C and C++. So in whatever problem we faced in C and C++, what are the difficulties that are removed in Java? Okay. Apart from the removal of confusing and ambiguous concepts, there is a provision of automatic garbage collections. So garbage collection and the unwanted wasted statements will be removed, in which there is no need to remove the unreferenced objects explicitly. So in other languages we have to remove all the unwanted objects, whereas in Java it does automatically. So because of all these concepts, it is called simple. Java is simple. Next one is Java is familiar. Okay. It has the base of familiar languages like C and C++ and contains many features of these languages. So we don't feel that we are learning a new language, because whatever we write in Java, most of the syntax are followed from C and C++. So it is familiar. So it removes the drawbacks, complexities and confusing elements of C, C++. So if you have good knowledge of C and C++, you will find Java familiar and easy to understand. So the next feature is compiled and interpreted. Okay. Usually computer languages can be either compiled or interpreted. Java integrates the power of compiled languages with the flexibility of integrated languages. Okay. So you would have studied in first semester, okay, in C language, when you studied C language. So initially we would have studied about different types of computers. Okay, in that you would have studied what is a compiler and interpreter. What is compiler? Compiler is a software which translates a high level language into a machine code. Okay. What is an interpreter? Interpreter also does the same. It also translates the high level language into a machine code. Okay. Then what is the difference between compiler and interpreter? Compiler compiles the whole program. That means it translates the whole programs, okay, from high level language to machine level language. Okay. If there are any mistakes, it will be error, it will be listed out. Then only we can execute. So usually whatever we do in C and C++, whenever you compile a C program, So, whatever the errors are in your program, that will be listed. So, line 1 this error, line 2 this error, line 30 this error. So, all the errors will be listed out. Then you will correct all the errors and compile again. When there is no error, it will be success, it can execute. An interpreter, every line of a program will be compiled. Okay. So, first line will be compiled. If there are no errors, it goes to the second line. If an error in the first line, you have to correct the error, then only the interpreter goes to the second line. So, the programs are translated line by line. So, because it is interpreter language. So, Java has both the concepts of compiler and interpreter. So, most of the languages will be having any one of these features, okay, any one of these translators. Either it will have a compiler or interpreter, whereas Java has both compiler and interpreter. So, Java compiler compiles the Java source code into bytecode. Java virtual machines execute the bytecode, which is executable in many operating system, and it is portable. Okay. So, usually when you compile a program, okay, if you are compiling a C program, so what will happen? The high level C program will be translated into a machine level code, okay. Then only you can execute it. When it is converted to machine level language only, computer will understand, then only it will produce the result. But in Java, the high level languages are not converted directly to the machine language, but it is converted to an intermediate language, okay. So, that intermediate language is called bytecode, okay. So, first your Java program should be compiled. So, for compiling we are using the command Java C. So, Java C is a Java compiler that compiles Java source code into bytecode. Then that bytecode will be executed or interpreted by the Java virtual machine. Okay, Java virtual machine is another software which converts your bytecode into a machine code. Okay. Okay, so there is an intermediate code, so that is called bytecode. Okay, so working of Java virtual machine. So my program.java, that is the program what we write, that is using compiler, it is translated into my program.class. So the bytecode will be a class file .class. Okay, then it is interpreted using Java virtual machine and it is converted into zeros and one, that is machine. Then it will be executed on a computer. So, the next one is platform independent. Okay. So, platform independent. So, for any language that will support a platform or a software. So, Java is also a software. In Windows based application, you need a window as a platform. Okay. Whereas Java does not need a platform. So, once it is converted into bytecode, it can be run on any type of machines. Okay. So, C means everywhere when you want to run a C, you need a DOS operating system or Windows operating system. But Java, it is not like that. It can be run on any software. So, most significant feature of Java is that it provides platform independence, which leads to the facility of portability, which is ultimately becomes its bigger strength. Being platform independent means a program compiled on one machine can be executed on any machines in the world without any change. Java achieves platform independence by using these concepts of bytecode. So, Java compiler never converts the source code to a machine code like C, C++. Instead, it converts the source code into an intermediate code called bytecode, and this bytecode is further translated to machine independent form by another layer of software called Java virtual machine. So, the below diagram explains the platform independence of the Java feature. So, Java code is the program what we write, then it is compiled by Java C compiler, it is translated into bytecode. So, when it is converted into bytecode, our program will have a program name dot class. Okay. So, when you write, it is program name dot Java. Suppose you are writing in your name, okay, maybe example is a program name, example dot Java. So, it is compiled by this Java C compiler, then it will be translated into example dot class. Okay. So, this class file is a bytecode, so it can be executed on any type of machines. So, Windows, so that JVM is a Java virtual machines on that particular system. For Windows, it will be run on a Windows OS. Linux Java virtual machine will run on a execute a program on a Linux OS. Solaris JVM will execute a program on a Solaris OS. Mac JVM will execute a program on a Mac OS. Okay. So, next portable. Java is portable. It refers to a standard edition version. The portability actually comes from the architectural neutral. Okay, why we are telling architectural neutral? So we have seen here. So a program once compiled into a bytecode, it can be run on any type of machines. So it is portable, and architectural neutral means it does not depend on any one particular OS. It is that bytecode can be flexible to run in any type of OS. So you can run Java bytecode on anywhere that has a complete JVM, which can convert bytecode according to that particular machine. Okay. Okay. So in Java, the size of primitive data type is machine independent, which were independent in the case of C, C++. So these provisions make Java program portable among different platforms. So they are telling the same thing repeatedly. So next one is architectural neutral. So this also will comes under the same thing, since it is a bytecode, it can run on different machines. Okay. So that is independent of platforms and environment. So Java is independent of platform and environment. So we call it as write once and run anywhere. Okay, run anywhere. WORA, or write once and run anywhere. Okay, Java can be called based on these words: write once and run anywhere, write once and run anywhere or everywhere. Okay, so bytecode is not dependent on any machine architecture, and Java virtual machine can easily translate bytecode into a machine specific code. Okay. So the next applications of Java is, the next feature of Java is object oriented. So we have seen in the previous class itself. So it is an object oriented programming, means it should include all the object oriented concepts. Okay. What are the object oriented concepts? Encapsulations, abstractions, inheritance. So Java includes most of these concepts. Okay. So because of that, it is called an object oriented. Next, robust. Java is robust as it is capable of handling runtime errors, supports automatic garbage collections and exception handling, and avoids explicit pointer concepts. Okay. So in Java, we don't study any pointer concepts. Okay. So here it is handling the runtime error. So when you run a program, if there are any error in between, your program will be hanged or it will come out. Sometimes if a error is there, you cannot even run your program. But in Java, if your program has error also, we can run a program. For that, it has a special statements, try and catch. So it is called exception handling. Okay, any runtime error can be handled, and even if your program is having some error, then it can be executed. Okay, so executed, the errors will be printed and the partial output will be also printed. Okay, so I told you the garbage collections, so the unwanted everything will be removed. So in other language we have to do it. In Java, Java does it automatically. So because of this, it is called robust. Okay, so next is secure. Security is an important issue for any programming languages, as there is a threat of malicious activities and viruses. So security is very important. Okay, Java supports access modifier to check the memory access. So memory access in Java, as we are using in other languages, in Java also we have private, public, static, all these accesses. Okay, so Java runs in a virtual machine sandbox. So other languages, it is directly converted into machine language, whereas in Java there is an intermediate code which is called bytecode. So intermediate code is called bytecode. You should remember what is bytecode. That bytecode is run in which one? That is bytecode is executed by Java virtual machine. This is a new concept you should remember. Other languages, it is directly converted. When it is compiled, it converted into a machine code, whereas in Java there is an intermediate code which is called bytecode. After that only it is converted into a machine code. So see the diagram. So C++ application, when it is converted, user runs the environment on an operating system. Okay, directly operating system now, it is a machine code which is run in the operating system. Whereas in Java applications, user runs the environment on its own, where whatever applications the user is using, so that application, his program will be run. So the bytecode is run in a particular platform. Okay, so it is separated from the operating system. So our programs are secured. Okay, So, it's looking at this diagram, you will understand. Next one is distributed. So, Java is distributed because of it encourages users to create distributed application. Distributed means a program will be divided into small parts and given to many processor, and at a time all these small subunits will be executed. So, Java programmer sitting on a machine can access another program running on other machine. Okay, he can access remote login சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா. So, remote login from one machine he can access the other machines. So, the process will be divided into different processor. So, he can access the process that is running on different machines. So, where we are using is our own machines. If he is accessing other machine, it is called remote machine. Okay. So, Java provides the concepts of RMI, remote machine invocation, and enterprise Java Bean. Java comes with an extensive library classes for interacting using TCP/IP protocols such as HTTP, FTP. So, Java will interact all these protocols. These protocols are internet protocols. Okay. It also enables multiple programmer at many locations to work together on a single project. Multi-threaded and interactive. Okay. So, a thread is an independent path of execution within a program. Okay. Executing concurrently. Multi-threaded means handling multiple tasks simultaneously or executing multiple portions of the same program in parallel. Okay. So, distributed means, okay, a big application will be divided into different modules that will be run. So, a thread means a single program that will be divided into different piece of code. Okay, each piece of code is called thread. Okay, so a simple program can have multiple threads. So, since we can execute this multiple thread at the same time, okay, to make the program easier, and we can compile the code, compile it very fast. The code of Java is divided into smaller parts and Java executes them in sequential and timely manner. So, multi-threading in Java, it is explained in a diagram. Okay, so that is process 1, process 2, process 3. So, process 1 T2, it is divided into T1, T2, T3. So, T1, T2, T3 are thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. Multi-thread, thread. A piece of code is called thread. So, process 2, 2 threads, T1, T2. Process 3, T1, only one thread is there. So, Java is interactive because its code supports effective character user interface and GUI user interface. Either you can use text formats or you can use images. Graphical means image formats. It improves the interactive performance of the graphical applications. The last one, high performance. What last one? The performance of the Java is impressive for interpreted language because of its intermediate code. Okay, Java provides high performance because of JIT. So, just-in-time compiler. Okay, so this compiler compiles the code into a bytecode. So, same thing only. So, it is an important concept. So, just-in-time compiler, in which compiler compiles the code on demand basis. So, எந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்மில் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்களோ அந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் தகுந்த மாதிரி அது கன்வெர்ட் பண்ணும். ஸோ திஸ் சேவ்ஸ் டைம். அதே மாதிரி எந்த மெத்தட் கேட்குறாங்களோ அந்த மெத்தடை மட்டும்தான் கம்பைல் பண்ணும், எல்லாத்தையுமே கம்பைல் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காது. ஸோ தட் ரெடியூசஸ் தி வேஸ்ட் ஆஃப் டைம். This saves time and makes it more efficient. Java architecture is also designed in such a way that it reduces overheads during runtime. The inclusions of multi-threading enhances the overall execution speed of Java program. So, bytecode generated by Java compiler are highly optimized. So, Java virtual machines can execute them much later. Okay. So, next is dynamic and extensible. Java is dynamic and extensible means with the help of loops we can add classes. So, we can add, if you want to add some more classes, we can add it. Okay. Creating new classes through a subclasses, it makes it easier for us to expand our own classes and even modify them. Java gives the facility of dynamically linking a new class library. So, we can add new classes, we can also link new classes. Because of this, it is called dynamic and extensible. Okay. So, these are the buzzwords of Java and these are the features of Java. It is very, very important. So far whatever we have seen is a feature of Java programming, and before that we saw the history of Java programming, And now we have come to the important part of the Java programming. We are going to learn actually how to write a Java program. Okay. So before that, we should know the structure of Java program. So the structure of Java program is very, very important. So unless and until you know the structure clearly, you cannot write the program well. Okay. So in C, you will start the program with the void main statement. Okay. Void main you will give, then you will give your statements within the program. Okay. Whereas in Java, it has to start differently. Okay. So that we will see in structure of Java program. So structure of a Java program is a standard format released by language developer to the industry programmer. Okay. So you have to write a Java program in this structure only. Okay. Sun Microsystem has prescribed the following structure for the Java programmers for developing Java applications. So now we go through the structure of Java program. So documentation, package details, class name, open bracket, data member, user defined methods, public static void main, string, args within brackets, then open bracket, block of statements, close bracket, and one more bracket which we have opened already. And this is the standard Java programming structures. Okay. So the first one is documentations. So documentation is for what? We'll give comments about the program. So for what we are writing the program, what are the methods we have used, okay, how to use that methods, what is the purpose of these applications. So about the program we will write, it's comment about the program, that is called documentation. So documentation is comments about the program. Next, package detail means, so package means what are the predefined files needed for the program. So we will write in C and C++ hash include, we will give no. So likewise here we have to write import java.io. So java.io will have all the input or output statements classes. Okay, that has to be included in all the Java program. Okay, so package details. So all here we call it as a package. So in C, C++ we call it as a header file. In Java we call it as a package. And the next line only we are actually starting the program, class name. So Java program should begin with the keyword class. Okay. And the class name is a user defined name. We can give name to the program. That is, class is a keyword and sum is the name of the program which we give. Okay. Then open curly brace, data members. Data members are the variables that we use in the program. So int a, b, c. Okay. So variable declarations, that is called data members. Next one, user defined methods. So what are the methods we are using? Okay. So what are the methods we are using in the program? That has to be defined earlier. As we are declaring the variables, methods also should be declared. That is, prototype of the methods should be given. So that is void display. So example they have given void display. Okay. So then the important statement of the Java program, public static void main, open bracket, string args, square brackets, then close brackets. This has to be written in all the Java program, and this is very, very important. So Java compiler will start its execution from this statement only. So you see all the words are in blue. So all these are keywords. So the letters which are in blue are keywords. So keywords should be written as it is. So this line should be written as it is in all the Java program. Then open bracket, block of statements. So block of statements, here only we will write our own codings. So our own codings are called block of statements. So here they have given one example, system.out.println. Okay, so hello Java within quotes. Okay, so here just they are using an output statement, system.out.println. Okay, in that they are printing only hello Java. So whatever is written in red color, it is a package name which has set of classes. Blue color, it is a reserved words, it is a keywords of a Java program. Okay, understood? We go through the structure once again. Documentations, package details, class name, okay, data member declaration, user defined method declarations, public static void main statement, then the block of statement we write. Okay. So that only we have explained here. Documentations means about the program. Okay. So compiler ignores these statements during the time of execution. So compiler need not execute the statements which are given in the documentation, because it is only comment about the program. It is not the actual statement. Okay. So package is a collection of classes, interfaces and sub packages. So sub-packages contains collection of classes, interfaces and sub-packages. So package will have a, suppose if it is a root package, it will have sub-package and again it will have its own sub-packages. So it will go like a tree. Okay. So java.lang is a package. So java.lang.asterisk they are giving. That means we are including asterisk when you give including. In java.packages there are many sub-packages. So all the packages are including when you give asterisk symbol. So package is imported by default and this package is known as default package. Okay. So next one is class. Okay. So class is the keyword. As I told you, class is the keyword. It has to be written as it is and the name of the class should be given. So class sum. Okay. So class is a keyword used for developing user defined data types and every Java program must start with the concept of class. So all the Java programs should begin with the word class. So class name is a represent Java valid variable name treated as name of the class. Each and every class in Java is treated as user defined data type. Okay, every class of Java is a user defined data type. So in Java everything is written as a class. So when we write our own class, it is user defined class. So because of that it is called user defined data type. Next one is data members. Data members are it is a variable declarations. These are different types of variables. So it can be either instance or static. They will be selected based on the name of the class. So variable can be declared either private, public or static. Okay. So user defined methods represents either instance or static. See, here also we can declare a method, either public method or private method. Okay. And each and every Java program start execution from the main method and hence main method is known as the program driver. Since main method of the Java is not returning any value and hence its return type must be void. Okay. So அதனால தான் public static void கொடுக்கிறோம். Okay, அதனால void, it does not return any value. Since main method of a Java executes only once throughout the Java program, so only once we are executing, so because of that it is called static. Okay. So since main method must be accessed by every Java programmer and hence whose access specifier must be public. Okay, in public static void main, for what we are using this statement, for each word they are giving explanations and after that also I will give you separately the public static void main explanation. So the block of statement represents set of executable statements which are in term calling user defined methods or containing in business logic. So in a block of statements we will write statement and these statements will have a different function calling or method calling. The file name conversion in Java programming is that whichever class is containing main method, then class name must be given as the file name with an extension of .java. It is an important point. All should remember and all should listen properly because you will make mistakes here only. So when you are giving class name it is given, no. So whatever the class name you are giving. So here we have sum, class sum கொடுத்திருக்கோம் இல்லையா. ஸோ அப்போ அந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை வந்து எந்த நேமில் சேவ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா sum.javaன்னு கொடுக்கணும். ஸோ கிளாஸில் என்ன கிளாஸ் நேம் கொடுத்துருக்கீங்களோ அந்த நேமில் தான் அந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை சேவ் பண்ணணும். இப்போ C++, பைத்தான் அதிலலாம் ஏதோ ஒரு நேம் கொடுத்து நீ சேவ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஆனால் ஜாவாவில் அப்படி கிடையாது. கிளாஸில் என்ன கிளாஸ் நேம் கொடுத்துருக்கியோ, லிசன் ப்ராப்பர்லி, கிளாஸில் என்ன கிளாஸ் நேம் கொடுத்துருக்கியோ அந்த கிளாஸ் நேமில் தான் சேவ் பண்ணணும். ஸோ இங்கே ப்ரோக்ராமிங் ஸ்ட்ரக்சரில் கிளாஸ் சம்முன்னு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க இல்லையா, அப்போ sum.java அப்படின்னு தான் இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை சேவ் பண்ணணும். புரிஞ்சுதா? ஸோ அதை we cannot save in other name. உன் பேர் வேறு பேர் எந்த பேர்லையும் நீ சேவ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஓகே. ஸோ now we will concentrate only on the main method. அந்த மெயின் மெத்தடில் ஏன் பப்ளிக் ஸ்டாட்டிக் வாய்ட் மெயினில் கொடுத்துருக்கோம் அப்படின்றத பார்க்கணும். ஓகேவா? ஸோ the syntax of the main method, public static void main. ஓகேவா? string args. So public, so to call by JVM from anywhere, so it is public. Okay, JVM will be run on different platform we saw no. So it should be called from different platforms. Adanala we are giving as a public. Static, without existing an object, JVM call this method. So for to use a class we need to create an object. ஒரு கிளாஸ்க்கு ஆப்ஜெக்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணி தான் யூஸ் பண்ண முடியும். ஆனால் மெயின் மெத்தட், இந்த மெயின் கிளாஸ்க்கு மட்டும் நம்ம ஆப்ஜெக்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணாமையே நம்ம என்ன பண்ணுவோம், யூஸ் பண்ணுவோம். அதனால் இது ஸ்டாட்டிக்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஸோ நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் void. ஸோ the main method does not return any value to a JVM. Okay. So Java virtual machineக்கு it does not return any value. So null values are written, because of that it is called void. Main string args. Main is the, it is just specify it is a main class. Okay, and command line arguments, string args is a command line arguments. Okay, whatever statements is given in the block of statements is considered as a set of characters to the program class name. Okay, so these are the structure, and this is the main statements that is used in Java. So public static void main, you should write it as it is, don't give space in between. Here they have given space to explain to you. So everything is written in small case, and string only should return in capital. S should be written in capital. So Java is case sensitive. If you make a small uppercase and lowercase difference, your program will have multiple errors. So all these should be written in small case. Only for string, the capital S should be written. So example, first program of Java, an example program just to print hello world. Okay, example, import java.io.asterisk semicolon. So as in C, here also all the statements should end with the semicolon. So hash include பதிலா இங்க என்ன எழுதிருக்கோம், import java.io. Okay, io.asterisk. அப்போ java.ioன்றது parent package. அது கீழே உள்ள எல்லா பேக்கேஜஸ்மே நம்ம இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணிக்கிறோம். அதுக்கு தான் அதுக்கு ஆஸ்ட்ரிக்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்கோம். ஓகே, ஸோ பப்ளிக் கிளாஸ் எக்ஸாம்பிள். ஓகே, அங்கே வெறும் கிளாஸ் நேம் கொடுத்தாலே அந்த கிளாஸ் நேமை இங்கே பப்ளிக்னு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. இந்த பப்ளிக் ப்ரைவேட் நீ கொடுக்காம கூட இருக்கலாம். ஸோ வேறு ப்ரோக்ராமில் இந்த ஃபைலை கால் பண்ண போகிறோன்னா பப்ளிக் கிளாஸ் நேம், எக்ஸாம்பிள் இஸ் த யூசர் டிஃபைன் நேம். அப்போ இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை எந்த நேமில் சேவ் பண்ணணும், எக்ஸாம்பிள்ன்ற நேமில் தான் என்ன பண்ணணும், சேவ் பண்ணணும். ஸோ example.javaன்னு தான் சேவ் பண்ணணும். ஸோ எந்த கிளாஸ்க்கு என்ன நேம் கொடுத்துருக்கோமோ அந்த நேமில் தான் அந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை சேவ் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, ஸோ டபுள் ஸ்லாஷ் போட்டிருக்காங்களே, இது கமெண்ட் செஷன், கமெண்ட், இட்ஸ் அ கமெண்ட். மெயின் மெத்தட் டிக்ளரேஷன், பப்ளிக் ஸ்டாட்டிக் void main. Okay, so string args is a command line argument. So only one statement we have written, system.out.println. Okay, so here we have printed only one word, hello world. Okay, this will be printed when you execute the program. This will be printed. Okay, just go through the basic structure of the Java program. I'll ask you to write a simple program in the evening. Okay, do you understand, girls? Okay, we'll see you.